first craft in the new apartment. We are going to be making these little sunflower bags. I've been on a roll. This is actually my third one. I just finished this lavender one. I made a white one, but I gave it to my friend, and it has a zipper. I have one more spare zipper, so we are going to make another one, and I'm going to give you as detailed of a tutorial as I can so you can make your own. Let's get started. First thing is we will need the sunflower colors. I like to use browns, so 2 different shades of brown, and then we need a yellow. Then you need a crochet hook. Mine is a 6mm. Hopefully this is an okay angle and you can see what I'm doing. So we are going to take the first color, and what we're going to do is make a slip stitch. So how I like to do it is first make a circle, and then with the longer end, you're going to put it inside the circle, or the end that's connected to your ball of yarn. And then you're going to pull tight, and then you can shrink it a little by pulling on the long end, or the end connected to the yarn. Okay, now we are going to chain 5. Wrap around, pull through, there's 1, wrap around, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now we are going to connect this end to the first little V that we see. So stick it in the V. We're going to connect it with the slip stitch, which is going around, and then pull through 2. And we want to keep it loose so that we can find the center. So now we just kind of open this up and find the center. Honestly, you can kind of just guess. And it's the center of all of the chains. Now we're going to do 16 double crochets inside this loop. So we're gonna wrap around, go in, sorry for the construction noise, around, out, around, pull through 2 loops, around, pull through 2. There's 1. Around, in, around, out, around, pull through 2, around, pull through 2. And what I like to do is keep this little tail just next to the circle as I go around, because I'm just gonna kind of crochet it inside, if that makes sense. Now we're going to attach it, so let's count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So we're going to attach it to number 16 by putting the needle through the V, doing a slip stitch. So around, and then pull through 2 to make a slip stitch. Now we are going to attach our next color, which is this other brown. We're going to do that by making a slip stitch. So make a circle, put the side that is connected to the yarn through the hole. If you do it over like this, then you're going to put it through the bottom. Pull, stick it right on top, and pull it through, or pull it tight. Now take the long end of the yarn and wrap it around and pull through these 2 loops to attach the next color. And then you can just pull tight on that first color. The next thing we're going to do is, in this space that we just went into, we are going to wrap around, go in, wrap around, go out. So there's 3 on the hook now. Wrap around, in the same one, wrap around, out. Now there are 5. Wrap around, in the same one, wrap around, out. Now there's 7. Now we're going to wrap around, and we're going to pull this 1 thread through all 7. Sometimes it's kind of hard to do, so you might have to pick it with your finger and go over one at a time. And then we're going to chain 1. So go around and through. We're gonna do that to each of these V's going around the whole thing. Since this other color, we're not gonna need that anymore, I'm gonna go grab my scissors and just cut that off. You wanna cut it long enough that you can weave it in, so a couple inches long. We have made it to the end, so you can see the V right here. We're going to attach it to that by putting our hook in and doing a slip stitch, which goes around, and then pulling it through the 2 loops. So we have the center of our sunflower. And now we are going to attach our yellow. So we find the end, make a slip knot, attach it, tighten it, and then take the long end connected to the rest of the yarn, go around and pull it through the 2 loops. And then just tighten it with the last color. This time, instead of going on the V's, we're going to go in between all of these little bubbles that we made. So we can see where we just attached it. We're gonna go in between this first one. And we're going to wrap around, go through, wrap around, out, wrap around through 2 of the loops. Do that again. Around, in, around, out, around through 2 of the loops. Now you have 3 on your hook. Around, in, around, out, around through 2. You have 4, and one more time. Around, in, around, out, around through 2. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now we're going to wrap around and go through all of them. And now you're going to chain 2. 1, 2. And now we're going to do it to the next space in between these 2 bubbles. So I attached it at the end with a slip stitch on the first V. And now we got to do a square around the whole thing to start making the bag part, like that. So let's pick our color. We're gonna do orange. We're gonna make our slip knot, make a circle, and then put the long end inside the circle, pull tight, and then we're gonna put it on. And then to add it, take the long strand, wrap it around, and pull it through. And then tighten that up. Okay, so this next part is probably the most confusing. Honestly, I kind of just wing it, and I will show you how to fix your square if it looks a little wonky. But to start off, we're going to chain 3. So wrap around, chain 1, 2, 3. Now we are going to do 2 double crochets. So just go into this next space where you see the next V, and in every V we're going to try to do 2 stitches. So our first double crochet, wrap around, through, around, out, around, through 2, around, through 2. That was my second, sorry, I did that kind of fast. So after 2 double crochets, now we are going to do a triple crochet, I'm pretty sure it's called, and it's the same thing except you are wrapping your yarn around twice. So wrap it twice around the hook. Now we're going to go in the next spot, which is on the other side of this petal. Go in, wrap around, go out, wrap around through 2, around through 2, and around through 2. So we did it 3 times. So after a triple crochet, now we are going to chain 2, and this is making the corner. So 1, 2, and we're going to do another triple crochet right in that same spot. So wrap it around twice, go in, around, out, around through 2, around through 2, around through 2. Now we are going to go into the next space, which is this V, right on top of the petal, and we're going to do 2 double crochets. So wrap around, go in, wrap around, out, around through 2, around through 2, again, wrap around, in, around, out, around through 2, around through 2, and you can see that we made our corner right here. Now we are going to do 2 half double crochets in the next V. So it's on the other side of this petal. Around, in, around, out, around through all 3, and then again around, in, around, out, around through all 3. And now we are going to do 3 single crochets. So we're going to move over to the other side of this petal, just place it in, around, out, around through 2, into the next V, in, around, out, around through 2, and I'm going to do, see, this is where I kind of just make it up, to be honest. I'm gonna do another one in this same V. So in, around, out, around through 2. So I can see that with my corner, I'm pretty much in the middle here. So that's why I decided to do the last 2 in the same stitch, the last 2 single crochets. So now we're going to build the next corner. So I'm going to do 2 half double crochets. So in this next space on the other side of the petal, go around, through, around, out, around through all 3, and I'm going to do that again in the same one, around, in, around, out, around through 3. Now we're going to build it a little taller, so we're going to do 2 double crochets. So around in this V, around, out, around through 2, around through 2, around, in, around, out, around through 2, around through 2. So we're getting close to the edge. So I'm gonna do my corner, which is a triple crochet, chain 2, and then another triple crochet. So I'm gonna do the first triple crochet in this same space since we have a little bit of room. So wrap around twice, go in, wrap around, go out, around through 2, around through 2, and around through 2. And now chain 2 to make the corner. And now I'm going to go into this next V. So wrap around twice, go in, out, around through 2, around through 2, around through 2. That made our corner. So you kind of just want to eyeball it and make sure it's lining up okay, and I will show you, we'll go all the way around again, and if there's anything off, I'll show you how we will fix that. So now we're going to continue. We're going to do 2 double crochets. So I'm going to go into this same space where the triple crochet was. I'm gonna go into this same space that the triple crochet is in, wrap around, go out, around through 2, around through 2. Now to the next space, around on this other side of the petal, in, around, out, around through 2, around through 2. Now we're going to do 2 half double crochets around in the same spot, around, out, around through 3. I'm gonna go into the next V, around, in, around, out, around through 3. Now I'm going to do 3 single crochets until I kind of reach this middle part. So I'm going to do the first one on the other side of the petal, 1, I'm gonna go in the same spot, 2, and I'm gonna go into the next V, 3, and now we have reached this chain, and I'm going to go, so we have our little chain right here. I'm going to go into the V right after the chain to bring it all together and do a single crochet. So there's our square. As you can see, it's a little bit wonky, but now I'm just going to go around the whole thing when I reach the corner. So I'll just show you. I'm gonna do my single crochets in all of these V's. When I reach this corner, I'm gonna do 1 in the corner spot, and then I'm going to chain 2 to turn the corner. 1, 2, and now go into the next V. And I'm just gonna keep doing that. Again, like I said, if anything is like really slanted, you can do a double crochet or a half double crochet. Make sure to go into the corner spot, chain 2, keep going until you reach back to here where we started, where this little guy is hanging out. And then I will show you how we continue on with the bag. We made it back around, and since we're in the middle here of the square, we just need to get over to the corner. So we're going to do slip stitches until we reach the corner. So that's where you just go in the V, around, and then through both. In, around, through, in, around, through. So now we've made it to the corner. So now what we're going to do is we're going to show you on this one. I made this one already. We're going to be skipping 3 stitches to make it more holy, I guess, as you can see here. So we're going to start off with the corner. Now you want to go into not this big hole right here, but the very corner, the tiny, tiny corner. So what we're going to do is we're going to wrap around, go in to that tiny corner, around, out, around, through 2, around, through 2. And we're working in 3s, so we're gonna do that 2 more times. Around, in, around, out, around, through 2, around, through 2. 1 more time. Around, in, around, out, around, through 2, and around, through 2. Now to make the corner, we're going to chain 2, 1, 2. Now let's make our other side of the corner. So we're going in the same corner that we were just using, that same tiny corner hole. So around, in, around, out, around, through 2, around, through 2, around, in, around, out, around, through 2, around, through 2, around, in, around, out, around, through 2, around, through 2. So we made our corner. Now we're going to want to do 4 more, so we want 4 holes, if that makes sense, going this way. So we want the corner, 4 holes, another corner. So I kind of eyeball wing this part as well. Sometimes I'll skip 2 stitches, go into the 3rd one. Sometimes I'll skip 3 stitches and go into the 4th one. So I'm gonna start off by skipping 2, and then I'm gonna go into the 3rd one. So around, into the 3rd, around, out, around, through 2, around, through 2. And we do that 2 more times in the very same stitch because we're working in 3s. Now let's skip 2 again, go into the next one, go into the 3rd. So now we have 2 holes. So skip 2 again, go into the 3rd, and do 3 double crochets. And now we are back at our corner, so don't go into the big corner, go into the tiny one. Do 3, then chain 2, and do 3 again in that same spot. And then you keep doing that. Skip 2, go into the 3rd, and honestly, you just keep going around and around. Once you reach over here, there will be a space of 2. You'll just connect it here, and then you'll go into the next corner, and you keep going around and around until you get the size. Now, the way that I came up with this size is I just compared it with the zipper that I had. So you'll just keep going around and around until you get to the size of your zipper length, and then you'll know that you can stop. And I will meet you back here when we have 2 finished, and I will teach you then how to do the inside lining and the strap and put it all together. Just wanted to show you that once you get here, so this is where we started before, and I have a space with 2 chains left. So then you are just going to put the needle into the V, wrap around, and go through both. So slip stitch it to make that last hole right there. Does that make sense? And then you can just go into the corner and continue to do it all again. So wrap around in the corner, around, out, around through 2, around through 2. Let me know if you have questions down below. I hope I'm making sense. I'm not sure if I actually mentioned this, but once you connect it and keep going around, you are putting the 3 double crochets into each of these holes. I don't even know if I mentioned that. You're not putting it in to the V's. That was only the first time around. So now you can see I'm just finishing the 3rd one here. But what you're going to do is wrap around, go through the massive hole right here, wrap around, out, and that is where you're doing your 3 double crochets. So I just wanted to make that note. Sorry. Continue. Hello, this is voiceover page now. So now I'm going to teach you how to make this inside liner. And as you can see, I always make it shorter than the bag because when I put my items in there, it stretches it out. And I just think it makes it more secure that way. So what I'm doing first is I'm counting the stitches across for our main bag. And I think I counted 28. So then I know how many I'm supposed to chain. You do a slip knot with the color that you're using for your liner, and then you are going to chain however many chains you need. Wrap around, pull it through, wrap around, pull it through, and then when you get to the end of your chains, you're going to turn it, and I like to do a double crochet. So that's wrap around, in, around, out, around through 2, around through 2. And I do that back and forth until I get to my desired height. Now you line up the 2 liners, and I'm just going to single crochet around 3 of the sides and leave that top part open. So there's not really any V's or certain stitches that you can go into. You just kind of guess, but make sure you go through both sides. Then you yarn over, pull through both of the liners, yarn over, and then pull through the last stitch. And you're just going to single crochet all the way around those 3 sides. Now we're going to do the same thing to the actual purse. As you can see, there's one side where you can see these V's really clearly and the other side you can't. And what we want to do is sandwich together the sides that you can see the V's. So we put those together. Then we make our slip knot. Insert your hook into both sides, and we go through each of the V's. Wrap around, pull through both of the sides, wrap around, and pull through the rest of the stitches. And you keep doing that to 3 of the sides. Next, we're going to make the strap. So you do a slip knot and then insert your crochet hook, and then you're going to chain as many stitches as you want the length of the strap to be. So as you can see, I like measuring mine on my shoulder and I like it to go about to my hip. And then you are going to turn the stitch, and I just do single crochets all the way back down the row. And I do that 5 times, so there's 5 different rows, and that's the thickness that I prefer for my strap. And now we're going to weave in all of the loose yarn ends. So I have a yarn needle, and I like to weave it in about 1 inch. So you're just going to do that and then clip off the end. Now to attach the strap to the purse, you're going to make sure that the seam is going to be on the inside. So put the strap on the outside, make sure that it's in the middle of that seam, and then you're going to put your hook through the purse and then through the strap and do a single crochet. So bring it through, yarn over, bring it through 2 hooks, yarn over, and bring it through 2. Then you weave in those loose ends, and I like to do it downwards so that it won't pop up when you're using the strap and it's just covered by the liner. Now to attach the liner, you are going to put it inside the bag. And I start from one end and I use the seam on the strap that I just made. So put your hook in, make sure one side goes in the liner and then the other in the seam, yarn over, and then do a single crochet. And you're going to do that to each of the V's going around your entire bag. As you can see, we're almost at the end, so I'm just going to finish off these few V's and then we will fasten off the yarn and weave it in. The next thing that I'm doing is to attach the zipper. I took my invisible marker pen and I drew a line in the middle of each of the sides and then also on the end, and that is where I will start sewing. So I'm doing a different bag than the one you guys originally saw, this one. And first what we will do is you're gonna stick it like this so that you can see this line and start sewing. I just do kind of a whip stitch through this brown, so I'm using brown string, and you just go all the way to the end. I like to start on the side that has this zipper because if the zipper's too long, we can always just tuck this part in. So you just start this way, and then when you get to the other side, you are going to open up the zipper and stick it inside the other direction so that you can't see the seams. I hope that makes sense.
Do I have to be quiet?
Preferably, yes.
Okay.
I'm following this line in here,
Point to it one more time.
right here.
Okay.
And then I just go right here. Make sure that you're grabbing some of the yarn on the other side. Oh babe, you're not even showing.
Hold up, I'm making this so much better. Give me 1 second. Might have to redo that one.
Make sure you're grabbing some yarn on the other side, actually going through it. And I'm using brown string because it will match. And then you go back through.
Let me just get a close up.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
You're just sewing the zipper in.
Beautiful.
Okay. Alrighty. Here is the finished result. I have made so many of these bags. They each have a zipper and their liner. So let me just show you. We got this kind of rainbowy brown one. Green. This one doesn't count because it's not the same. Orange. Red one. Whoopsie. Pink and purple, and I did like a two-tone purple because I ran out, but I think it works. And then I did blue, another orange, green, and another purple. So yeah, I think they turned out pretty cute. I am making a bunch because I'm gonna sell them at a like kind of festival type thing, so hoping it goes well. Thanks for watching this tutorial, and let me know if you guys want to see another tutorial on the next thing that I end up making. Bye.